In late 2024, we started using Cookieplone to create our Plone projects. We contributed some improvements and changes to the templates, and after all decided how we were going to use those templates to deploy our project's Docker images. We were already users of GitLab and also users of GitLab CI/CD, so we thought that was the way to go. That's why we contributed a GitLab CI/CD pipeline to Cookieplone. But we discussed this issue internally and we agreed with our Django college at Code Syntax some basis to deploy our containers-based projects, and found that we needed something else than what we contributed. We decided not to deploy containers automatically, but let CI/CD to build the images and get everything ready and deploy it manually. You may find it strange, but our idea is to slowly evolve our development and deployment strategies, and we decided to keep SSH in the server and running a command to do so. In the future, I'm pretty sure that we will evolve to a complete automation, but first we need to test that everything works okay. We forked the Cookieplone template repository. Bear in mind that our templates are based in the old Cookieplone templates, that they don't have the latest changes added in Bucharest Sprint, and added our deployment recipes to the project template. So first things first, we need to run Cookieplone to use our template, and this is done adding some variables to the Cookieplone call. So first, we need to run Cookieplone with some variables. We select that we want a project. We name it Plone Day 2025. We set a domain name and let all the other options with the default ones using latest Plone and Vault. We set Code Syntax as the repository name and say that we are going to save our Docker images in GitLab. So after running Cookieplone, we have all the template structure here. We first need to cd to the WPD folder, and here we can see everything. We go to the backend folder, we run make install to install Plone. Everything is ready in a matter of seconds. Now we start Plone, and we get that software is ready to handle requests. We go to localhost 8080 and we create a new Vault site. So with the backend done, we go to the frontend, we open a new tab, go to the frontend folder and run make install there. We go to the frontend folder, we run make install. Okay, and as this will take some minutes, we now go to configure our repository on GitLab. So we create a new project on GitLab. We name with the same slug that we used to create the Cookieplone. We create project. Yeah, and now we need to configure our repository to make CI/CD work. To do so, we go to the settings repository, we go to the deploy keys, and now here we have to enable a deploy key and this key will be used in the CI/CD process to commit to the repository. We need to go to the deploy tokens also. We need to add a deploy token so that the server can access this container registry. So we create a deploy token. I'm not going to show you the deploy token, but we just copy the username and the password provided by GitLab, and we will use them in the server. So we log in into the server, and here we need to log in the container registry provided by GitLab. Type in docker login registry.gitlab.com/codesyntax/wpd2025 with the username and password obtained from the GitLab interface. Login succeeded. This means that our server is ready to pull images from GitLab. Meanwhile, let's check if Volto is ready. Yes, Volto is ready, so we can start and check in the browser if everything is okay. It takes some time to compile and prepare all the files, but in a matter of seconds everything will be ready. Server is compiling. Yeah, Volto is ready on port 3000, so we go to the browser, we open localhost 3000, and we can see that our Volto site is ready. So now we just commit our changes, we go back to the terminal, we commit all our changes and push them to the repository. Perhaps we have to fix some issues because the pre-commit will be run. Let's see, nothing, we don't have to fix anything, so we just push everything to the repository. We add the origin pointed to GitLab and push our changes. Okay, so now we are going to make some changes, and to do so we create a new branch called develop, and we will be going to add two add-ons to our Plone project. In the backend we are going to add the collective Volto form support add-on, which is required by the Volto frontend add-on collective Volto form block to create forms through the web. And in the front end we go to our Volto add-on, and in the dependencies string we add the kit concept Volto Light theme using the latest stable release, and as mentioned earlier, the Volto form block. We use the latest release here too. Yeah, we need to add both add-ons to the add-ons key in the package.json, so we do it like this, and we also need to add signal, which is the theme that we are going to use in this project. In this case, as we are using Volto Light theme, you may have guessed that we are going to add Volto Light theme to the theme constant in the Volto config.js. Yeah, everything's ready. Now we need to run make install in the backend and in the front end, so that those packages are added. Okay, the Volto form support is ready. Now we can start the instance. Ready, and we go to the front end and we do the same. We make install the changes. And run the front end. And we can now see on the browser that this add-on is already added, and we are going to install it in our Plone site, and check also that the form block is available on the front. Volto is ready, so we open the browser, we see that Light theme is already installed. We log in to the control panel, we go to the add-ons control panel, we see that form support is here, so we install the backend add-on, and if we go to the front end, we can edit the title of the page, and we can see that a form block can be added to. So with these changes ready, we now go to the terminal again, and we commit those changes and push them to GitLab so that we can open a merge request where our containers will be built. So we add the backend and frontend folders, we commit them, signaling that we have added a new add-on. We may need to fix some linting. Let's check what the pre-commit says. Yes, we need to fix the setup PY pointing to the correct Python versions. It's done. So we fix that in the setup PY. So we remove those two lines. We go back to the terminal. Yeah, and we see that changes were committed, so we now push them to the develop branch. Okay. If we open the GitLab now, we will see that we have pushed some changes to develop, so we are ready to open a merge request. And when opening a merge request, we will see that a pipeline is created where we see 3 different stages and different jobs. In these jobs, we first run checks in the backend and the frontend, then we test the frontend and the backend, and then we build the required images. If we check the GitLab CI file in the root of the repository, we will see that we have first the check, the test, and the release processes. In the check stages, we just run make check in the backend and in the frontend with the commands already provided by Cookieplone. In the test phase, we run the same but for the tests, make test and make CI test to properly run the unit test of our packages. And in the backend and in the release stage, we just build the Docker images and push them to the GitLab repository with the latest tag. So in the end of our merge request, we will have 2 Docker images built by GitLab CI/CD and published in the container register provided by GitLab. If we check, now I will show you our Docker Compose file that we are going to use to deploy this project on our server. The Docker Compose file is in the deploy folder, and here we can see all the services that it has. It has the backend service with the Plone instance. You can see here that it's pointing to the Docker image provided by GitLab. It's running in CO mode, so we need to have a CO service also. We run caddy to do the TLS certificate handling with the configuration in the conf and caddy file, where we point which is the URL of our server, of our project. We also have the frontend with the Volto code, also a Docker image provided by GitLab. And we have the CO server with the data volume persisted in the disk. We also have Nginx with a default configuration pointing to the correct Volto and the backend. We may need to check this. We point to proxies and we see that there is a bug here. We need to point not to the varnish proxy but to the backend proxy, so we need to fix this. Both, yeah, these 2 roles need to point to the backend, so we uncomment them and point to the backend proxy. Yeah, okay. And we also have a make file where we add the most usual commands to make this start work, like stopping all the stack, starting it, restarting the services, deploying or restarting Nginx, or checking the logs of the backend or the frontend, or the command to upgrade or deploy the server, where we stop and start the backend and the frontend containers, and or also the full upgrade, where we stop and start everything. And we even have a crons entry in the makefile, where we install in the server cron tab some cron jobs to start the stack when the server restarts, or to pack the CODB once a week. So running the containers will take 10 to 15 minutes, and after all you can see that all jobs are in green, so we are able to merge our merge request. And when clicking merge here, another pipeline will be created to increase the version number of our project and containers. So if you go here, we can see that the bump version pipeline starts. You can see while it starts, I will show you the pipeline here. This is the bump version that runs release it package to build the changelog, and also to change the version number. We have the release it configuration here with conventional commits to build the changelog, and the version bumper that will change the version numbers wherever it needs to change. Our runner is a bit slow. Yeah, and here we can see that the runner is doing its job, is releasing the package, creating the version number and writing it to in the proper files. Yeah, we can see here that the job succeed. So, and it has created a new version for these container images. It has decided which is the new version. So now we have another job called build and release that will take this version number from the correct file. Yeah, and now it's finished. It will take the version number from the correct file and use it to tag the containers with this new version. This way we can identify which version of the backend and the frontend is available in production. Okay, the process is starting. Here we can see that we are using the version in the version txt file, and here, and here how the latest tag is also named with the version number, and the Docker image tagged and pushed. We do it with the backend and also with the frontend. When the process is finished, we will see that the pipeline has succeeded, and we go to the root of the repository, we will see the version number. So now we go to the server, we clone the repository from GitLab. We do it in a folder called Docker, but it's just our convention. We go to the Docker folder, and there we go to the deploy folder where our Docker container, Docker compose file is, and we run make start. When running make start, it will pull all the required containers, the one from the Docker Hub, Caddy, Nginx, and Theo, and the ones from GitLab registry, backend and frontend. It takes some time to get those containers. And starting them depending on the power of your server. This server is a DigitalOcean 2 CPU, 2 GB RAM droplet. We have prepared it previously with some Ansible scripts that we use to have Docker installed and some other security-wise configurations that we do to all of our servers. Let's wait for the frontend to be downloaded. Yeah, everything is ready, containers are starting. Perfect, everything is started. Now we have to wait that the containers to be available. We can check the frontend logs, or we can see that frontend is ready, and we can check also the backend logs, where we see that the backend is ready also. Now we go to the browser and we create the Plone site like we did locally. We first go to the root of the site, we log into the Plone site, we create the Volto site. Yeah, and so now we go to wpd.corpoweb.com, the domain name that we have set for our project, and we can see that the Plone project, the Plone website is ready. We see it like we saw locally, so we can say that the server is ready, deployed automatically by GitLab. We also have in the deploy folder in the make file, we have several make commands to ease our debugging and starting processes, like the logs backend to see the backend logs, or logs frontend to see the frontend logs. This is all. Our template is in our GitHub account, and we will contribute the GitLab changes to the main Cookieplone template repository. Thank you.